What about the equity markets today? Well, it was quite a roller coaster ride, but all the give and take means that there was absolute fatigue on Dalal Street. It turned out to be a fairly disappointing day. Remember, next week will be exceedingly important. We will kickstart the earnings season on Friday with Infi, and not just that, the IIP numbers are also due on the 12th of April. So for today, it was 55.53. It was off by 21.5 points on the Nifty. For the Sensex, it was down by 0.3%, 18,450. So lackluster, to say the least. The broader markets too saw similar momentum, but by the end of the day, we did manage to see a mild amount of recovery come in. So for the mid-cap index, we just about edged a small gain, and for the small-cap index, it was flat. Sectoral movers, well, FMCG bore the brunt of the selling pressure today, so that one was off by 1.5%. You also had capital goods, which was down and out. What managed to sustain was the oil and gas sector, and auto also, as a pack, did see quite a bit of relief. It's been a fairly tough week for NMDC. That counter was down by close to 4% today itself. ITC, some price hikes coming in there. 291 is where that one shut shop. HDFC and NTPC too in the limelight on the downside. Some stocks in focus then today. You had CLSA, which came out with a brokerage call on Maruti Suzuki, saying that they maintain a buy call with a target of 1,850, that the stock is priced on all of the demand side concerns, and that the UV launch in FY15 as well as the stabilizing market share will be the key positives. Not just that, the yen was at a 3.5-year low against the US dollar, and that certainly augured well, given that its exposure to the yen is nearly to 20 to 25% of its overall revenues. IGL soared in trade today. There was a little bit of buzz going about that there would be an out-of-court settlement worked, or the fact that PNGRB has softened its stance, but PNGRB exclusively told ET Now that they are not looking at any out-of-court settlement whatsoever, and there's no question when it comes to softening of its stance, but the stock clearly had a mind of its own, 12% higher by the day's close. JK Lakshmi Cement, that came under a fair bit of pressure today. There was a little bit of negative news. Some Chhattisgarh plant properties are damaged, and that didn't go down too well with the stock price. SR Oil was up by close to 2%. Remember, it's replaced its $1.65 billion CDR loan with lower cost debt. Ahluwalia Contracts, not a very liquid stock, but 14% higher by the day's close, as it won projects worth 1,015 crores for the order of construction of residential projects in Mumbai and NCR. Some of the other index gainers, we pointed out to Maruti Suzuki. What gave us support the entire day was an ONGC. You also had HCL Technologies from IT after being hammered yesterday, up by close to 2% today. And Sesa gained in the session. What about the week gone by? Well, it was a pretty tough one at that. You had the Nifty, which shaved off close to 2%. The Sensex also declining in tandem. Broader markets, though, comparatively didn't see that much damage. So very flat for the mid-cap index. It was the small-cap index, in fact, which outperformed, so a gain of close to 2%. FMCG, largely on account of today's movement, was down and out. So for the week, it lost 3.3%. Metal shaved off 2.7%. Technology as a pack also was very weak yesterday, and that's why for the week gone by, it's down 2.6%. Maruti Suzuki was a great outperformer for this week, a good 9.9%. Dr. Reddy's following suit, and clearly defensives played their part, at least for the week. Sun Pharma also some approvals coming in there, auguring well. On the downside, a big thumbs down to telecoms. So you had a Bharti Airtel, which was down, HDFC down 6.7%. ITC for the week shaved off over 5%, as did a Bajaj Auto.